Tzu Chi Indonesia chapter has worked together with the local government to deliver daily supplies for scavengers. The Xindian Jing Si Hall held a stem cell registry drive with many young people coming forward and register. Welcome to Dai Headlines. I'm Simon Gan. Thank you for joining us. The Indonesian Presidential Office's Secretarial Department and Tzu Chi Indonesia chapter have worked together to deliver daily supplies to West Java and East Jakarta for scavengers. Let's take a look.
The garbage dump is where they call home. Due to the epidemic, they've lost their incomes. Indonesian Presidential Office Secretarial Department and Tzu Chi Indonesia chapter have come to a village to distribute 280 supplies.
As we have seen, most of the residents here are scavengers. Therefore, we are providing daily supplies to lessen their financial burdens.
We are grateful to receive the supplies. We are poor people and we can only rely on the help of kind-hearted people because recyclables sell for little money. I'm grateful that the supplies can sustain our family for the next few days.
The scavengers' incomes are unstable. In East Jakarta, there's a foundation called Silawang Merdeka who serves scavengers. The distribution is also held at another village.
We are grateful to Tzu Chi Foundation's help and care for scavengers here. Since Jakarta has implemented movement restriction order, they have lost their source of incomes. This kind of assistance is very helpful to them.
Volunteers have distributed 200 daily supplies, hoping to support the scavengers through the difficult times.
In Cebu, the Philippines, schools or institutions in various places were converted to temporary isolation centers to accommodate COVID-19 patients. 700 Jing Si folding beds were sent there by Tzu Chi for patients and medical personnel to rest.
Walking into the temporary isolation center, the beds here are particularly different.
Barangays created isolation centers, converted their different schools in the different barangays into isolation centers. If we could divert the donated beds to those centers.
700 Jing Si folding beds are distributed by the local charity organizations. They exert their abilities in various places so that patients can rest assured to recuperate and medical personnel can sleep well at night.
Expectation of every benefactor or donor that whatever is donated is put to good use. And we made sure of that. We immediately approached Tzu Chi if we could divert, and they were very generous.
Medical personnel grabs every second to save lives. To safeguard their health, medical supplies are indispensable.
These PPEs would boost their confidence to continue the service, knowing that they are safe in taking care of these patients.
Despite of the increasing number, you are always there. So Master Xindian, the Tzu Chi Foundation, thank you very much.
Representatives from line hospitals came to collect the medical supplies, bring Tzu Chi's love back to their workplace.
To aid the fight against the coronavirus in Japan, Tzu Chi volunteers have sent masks to hospitals in need, government offices, and other charity organizations. Let's take a look at their efforts.
Personal protection equipment is something that the world needs right now. Thus, when the Tzu Chi Japan chapter received their share of the medical supplies, they immediately took action to organize and send it.
Currently, we have given preventative items to 35 medical facilities and some organizations like assisted living or orphanages. I am grateful for the love from global Tzu Chi volunteers so that we can form affinities with many areas of Japan.
Business entrepreneur Chen Wufu donated 6,000 face masks for Tzu Chi to distribute and also accompanied the volunteers to the Tokyo government offices to deliver the items.
We have seen how dedicated the Tzu Chi brothers and sisters are in their contributions to society, and we were so moved. That's why we had the idea to donate face masks through Tzu Chi's channel.
Many of the hospitals, when they heard Tzu Chi can donate masks to them, were beyond ecstatic. However, some had reservations.
Is it really free? They won't come back to ask us for payment? That's what Ms. Wakabayashi asked me. She was concerned about that. I told her, don't worry, they won't ask for payment.
I thought maybe your organization will send us a bill and ask for payment. So I kept a cautious attitude. I feel very sorry about that.
Although compared to the beginning, there are slowly more masks available, but medical grade and N95 ones are still not enough for the hospital, so Tzu Chi's assistance is so appreciated.
One surgeon's family member took to the internet to ask for mask donations so she may help Ageo General Central Hospital and Kanto Central Hospital, to which Tzu Chi Japan responded.
The medical staff can be at ease with one piece of face mask, knowing they can treat those without the virus without worry. It's time like this. We can really feel the care from those who donated the mask to us.
The novel coronavirus is still very intense in Ehime Prefecture. The Tzu Chi volunteers in Japan used video chat to host a donation ceremony for the Ehime Prefecture government and a local volunteer group in hopes to prevent the spread of the virus.
To appreciate medical personnel, Daron Master Xindian has given Hualien Tzu Chi Medical Center more than 3,000 sets of Jing Si foldable utensils. The hospital staffs are also encouraged to carry their own personnel utensils so they can prevent the spread of the virus as well as protect the environment.
To thank medical personnel who fought the epidemic on the front lines, Daron Master Xindian has given Hualien Tzu Chi Medical Center the newly developed Jing Si foldable utensils. On the card is a picture of medical personnel carrying the earth, symbolizing their efforts in safeguarding lives. On the back of the card are words of appreciation from the master.
The card is made from a recycled meal box. In Taiwan, people use too many one-time use utensils, so we encourage people to use the foldable utensils. They're convenient to carry, and using them can reduce the use of one-time use products. It combines hard, soft, and hard materials and can be folded.
The utensils are made with silicone and they have passed the high-class material test of the European Union. It can withstand high temperature and can be microwaved. They include bowl, cup, chopsticks, and chopstick holder. They can be easily put away, and the design has incorporated the aesthetics of Tang Dynasty.
Everyone has felt the master's appreciation. Our colleagues are very grateful to the master for providing them with the newly developed utensils. They can cherish items and safeguard lives, love people as well as animals. Then they will embrace vegetarianism and promote vegetarianism.
Hualien Tzu Chi Medical Center has taken the lead to live a new life while implementing epidemic preventative measures. The superintendent delivers the utensils to different departments, hoping people will stop using one-time use products and protect themselves against the spread of the virus.
The Xindian Jing Si Hall held a stem cell registry drive, with many young people coming forward and register, hoping to provide hope to all the patients who are still waiting for a matching donor. With every tube of blood, there is a life story behind. Mr. Huang brought his son and son-in-law to register as stem cell donors because his wife once received the same help.
My wife's white blood cell count was 0. Tzu Chi helped us match a donor for my wife. Although the surgery didn't happen in the end, I'm grateful that Tzu Chi helped us find a matching donor.
To cherish life, some people came to register as a donor right before the age limit, hoping that another life can be saved in the future.
Age limit for the stem cell registry is 46 years old. I'm 45 this year, just in time, so I came and registered as a donor today.
There's also young donors hoping to be able to help others.
I'm hoping that I will find a match, maybe more, because there are too many people out there in need.
The public were highly supportive of the stem cell registry drive. In just a morning, the Xindian Jing Si Hall collected 87 tubes of blood, providing the patients in need a glimpse of hope. A young Indonesian girl was diagnosed with a rare chronic leukemia, and her parents, who are both immigrant workers, were unable to afford the expensive medical fees. Fortunately, their employer covered the full payment for them, just to repay the little girl's mother, who took good care of his parents for 9 years.
This Indonesian girl, BC, shows an adorable smile. She's a year and 4 months old and is learning to walk now. From her innocent look, it's hard to imagine that she almost lost her chance to grow up a year ago.
She had a fever, and we found that it was a rare blood cancer, which must undergo a bone marrow transplant to save her.
The rare leukemia bone marrow transplant has only 2% chances to be matched with the patient's parents. Luckily, BC was successfully matched with her mother. However, the expensive medical fees were above the family's ability.
My boss saved our lives and saved my daughter's life. Otherwise, I didn't know what to do.
Although it's a small transplant case, it still faces many risks such as obstructive liver disease, infections, and body rejections. The injecting of drugs weren't cheap at all. The employer, Su Guanling, has helped cover the medical fee of $33,400 in total.
Seeing such a little child with needles all over her body, I felt very pity for her.
His food import business was harshly affected by the pandemic, and his financial situation wasn't good lately. Nevertheless, he still went around raising money to help his employees' family.
I was not familiar with Taichung's roads before, but now I'm familiar with most of the routes here because I need to drive her to the hospital.
Su Guanling has no children and wife. He was grateful that the little girl's mother took good care of his parents for 9 years, so he treated them as his own family and gave of selflessly to help the girl receive the transplant.
Tzu Chi grounds in the Philippines provided anti-epidemic materials for hospital representatives to collect. Volunteers also took the opportunity to introduce the benefits of vegetarianism.
Representatives from various hospitals came straight to the Tzu Chi grounds to get boxes of medical supplies.
It's amazing that people from China are helping us, and we don't even know each other, and it's just very touching that the Tzu Chi Foundation has made it possible for strangers to be helping strangers.
Protective clothing and medical masks are provided to alleviate material shortage.
Very noble volunteer works of Tzu Chi Foundation in procuring all the needed PPEs. This gives us courage and strength, especially the frontliners, to serve each and every patient of the Lung Center of the Philippines.
Because of this, medical staff come together to listen to the stories about benefits of vegetarian diets. Volunteers plan to deliver 1 vegetarian meal a day for the medical personnel. Everyone is willing to join.
The virus really came from the animal, so kapag i-stop natin yung pagkain ng animals, it will really a big help to heal the earth po, sa mundo po.
I will be very glad to avail of this program and also encourage other colleagues and co-workers at the Lung Center of the Philippines.
To fight against the virus, it is better to start from changing our eating habits so as to boost immunity. Medical personnel should take the lead to demonstrate this to the public.
In Taichung Fengyuan, 4-year-old vegetarian child Zhang Yuqiao was a vegetarian baby before birth. She has great compassion towards animals, and her love to protect lives has inspired her family to adopt a vegetarian diet with her.
阿巧，那是什么？这是饭。谁吃的？ 爸爸好好吃。
我就觉得他真的还蛮特别的一个孩子，就是与生俱来的。
Chow Chow is a vegetarian baby since she was in her mother's belly. In her world, animals are not to be eaten.
Once my mother-in-law cooked the fish, and she started to think that the fish swims in the water when she saw the fish on the table. When my mother-in-law witnessed this, she told Chow Chow not to eat the fish and promised she would never cook it again.
Her father's joke made her angry because she has a say on everything her father eats.
She said, Mommy and I are both vegetarians and the whole family are vegetarians. Since we are a family, you must eat a vegetarian diet with us.
As her father's precious baby, she succeeded to convince her father to adopt a vegetarian diet and give up eating meat.
My wife is easier to talk to, but my daughter is very strict about my diet. A no is a no.
At noon, Fengyuan Jing Si Hall volunteers prepare lunch boxes. Everyone knows this blue lunchbox here. This is Chow Chow's lunchbox. The volunteer in Jing Si Books and Cafe checked the dishes when receiving it from the kitchen. It wasn't hard to eat a vegetarian diet at home, but keeping the diet at the kindergarten is difficult. Volunteers decided to care for her as she has lost significant weight.
We are helping a future Bodhisattva. We are all very willing to do so.
Volunteers deliver lunch for her every day, and the kindergarten teacher has also become a member of her support team. Everyone cooperates to support a young vegetarian child because her genuine love to the living beings has impacted the adults around her.
In Malaysia, an 80-year-old Tzu Chi recipient in Johor Bahru was sent to a temporary shelter by law enforcement officers for not going out to buy food during the movement restriction order. Volunteers went there to care for him and became his guarantor for returning home after the movement restriction order is relaxed.
The volunteer is visiting the grandpa and asking him about his current situation at the temporary shelter. He has been staying there for 2 weeks.
I went out to buy lunch at 11 o'clock. I didn't expect them to come to catch people at that time. I was then caught. And actually, I have Tzu Chi's phone number, but I didn't bring it, so I could not reach out to Tzu Chi.
Grandpa Wu Fu-Chang has no children. He originally lived with his wife. Since his wife suffered from stroke and was admitted to a nursing home many years ago, he has been living in a dormitory in Johor Bahru. His monthly living expenses are subsidized by Tzu Chi.
Originally, we planned to take Grandpa out, but the officer for the welfare department told us that it is better for Grandpa to stay in the center. As he has no family, if he returns to his home, no one can take care of his safety. Because the virus hasn't been eliminated yet, if we get sick, the medical personnel need to save us. So we should put in our efforts by taking good care of ourselves. Take care of yourself, okay?
Nearly a month later, the epidemic situation improved. The government relaxed the movement restriction order. Volunteers went to the temporary shelter again to take Grandpa Wu Fu-Chang home.
We and Tzu Chi are your guarantors, so this officer asks us to take you out and take care of you.
Grandpa has finally returned home, where it is a rented bed in a corner of this rented dormitory. Although it's simple, it is Grandpa's warmest home.
Now I am relieved and won't think too much.
At the moment of the epidemic, the seniors are often the most vulnerable group. More attention and care are needed to ease their mind.
After the COVID-19 epidemic broke out, Lai Hap Kyung, who used to travel between Singapore and Malaysia, chose to stay in Singapore. He could only communicate with his family in Malaysia through video conferencing. Even though he's in Singapore, he still continues to carry out Tzu Chi's missions.
Hello, I'm sitting at an office desk now.
This is Lai Hap Kyung's new bedroom. Since Singapore and Malaysia have implemented movement restriction orders, Lai, who used to travel between the two countries, chose to stay in Singapore.
If you look downward, you'll see my bed. I have bought a bed and placed it on the floor.
Although Lai has been trapped in Singapore and cannot return to Malaysia, he continues to carry out Tzu Chi's missions. As Johor Bahru Tzu Chi Academy has opened, mothers bring their children to school. Lai, who is also documenting volunteer, continues to document Tzu Chi events using the internet.
When my wife was moving things out, I asked her to bring my laptop. You know, I am quite busy on weekends. As Tzu Chi Academy has resumed schooling, I am very busy.
As Lai works, he also misses his wife and 3 children in Johor Bahru. Over the weekend, he organizes his piles of family photos. Then he turns them into a review video and posts it on social media.
Since I'm the breadwinner of the family, I cannot go back. No matter what happens, I cannot go back. As I made the first video clip, I felt like crying because I would be lying if I tell you I do not miss home.
During the epidemic time, Lai has to be separated from his family. Despite that, they still encourage one another and look forward to their reunion when the epidemic is brought under control.
A special activity was held in Kunshan Xindian Park. It was initiated by Tzu Chi volunteers to promote recycling. Let's join them there.
What can be recycled and how to properly categorize each item is demonstrated through these cards in this game. It's a test for these adults who also consult young children about how to do recycling. There are some students who are in middle school who recite a slogan about classifying recycling material.
Bottles, cans, paper, electronics. 13570.
Kunshan from June 1st. We need to sort garbage, and now I know how to do it. Later, we can do a better job of recycling in our daily life.
Many people just buy what they want, and they don't really think if they really need it. Sometimes things are not necessary, and these actions are also environmentally friendly.
This activity was held in Kunshan Xindian Park, where Tzu Chi volunteers set up 3 stalls to promote recycling and vegetarian diet. They also serve tea for people to drink while listening to inspirational stories.
Don't let bad things pass because they are small, and don't keep good actions small. When you do anything, think about if it benefits others.
The activity not only enhances neighborhood in the community, but also hope to encourage neighbors to do good deeds together.
Tzu Chi Long Island Youth Band held an online performance to thank all the people who has contributed during this pandemic. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you and goodbye.